welcome out to the new and improved Bryan High School here on BMU Channel 3. Chris Malenga and Jim Thunderberg. And Jim, beautiful new facility here at Bryan High School as we get the basketball season underway.
I'll tell you what, the last time I was here, Chris, this place was almost done, but not quite. They were still missing scoreboards and a few things like that. They trimmed it all off nicely, finished it all off nicely, and I think we now have probably the nicest facility in the conference and probably in Northwest Ohio.
Yeah, it's definitely beautiful. Appears to be a lot bigger than the old Bryan High School. Not sure if that is indeed the case, but the bleachers seem like they go forever up on the home side.
You can hardly see anybody sitting in that back row sitting up there right now. Found I think a little bit slight of what I thought it was going to be tonight. I thought with the opening game tonight we would have quite a few folks here. Looks like it's only going to be about a third of the way full. Looking down in front of me right now, again, about the same way on both sides. But boy, what a beautiful spot to watch a basketball game. We're up in, I don't know what you call this. Is this a crow's nest up here, or what do you have up here?
I guess. I don't know, but we are definitely up above the crowd. So
we are definitely up above the crowd, and great seats, great place to be, and I think it should be a really good situation for us to be able to do the ball games from here tonight. And I'm looking forward to it tonight as the Golden Bears, who come in here yet to play an official game. They played that game against Montpelier last week, open up at 0-0, and Wayne Trace comes in at 1-0 after winning last week to open up their season. And for the Bears here tonight, I think with Coach Brandon Fisher, this is going to be a very interesting start of the season for him here tonight to open up against a Wayne Trace team that really is expected to do some good things in the GMC this year.
Yeah, they really are. You know, Brandon Fisher was an assistant at Defiance under Kirk Lehman. He was a graduate of Eden, so he's familiar with Northwest Ohio. And it'll be nice to see him put his stamp on the program. And Doug Billman, our former coach, is now over in the GMC, so Wayne Trace is going to have to deal with him because he's over at
Antwerp. Yeah.
It's just interesting. Anytime you have a change in coaches, it's always an interesting change. And he's got some good assistants. Mo Zuber, longtime assistant, is still here, as is Blake Rocky. They've added Chad Bassett to the mix. Chad, well involved in the youth basketball program here at Bryan, and now he's up with the varsity. And Steve Lamberson here as well as an assistant. So it'll be interesting to see how these guys put their mark on Bryan. New gym, new team, new coach. And Bryan has some losses that they have to come up with, and one of them is an all-NWAL player, Dylan Lehman.
It's got, this year is going to be a very interesting year for this ball team. They've got some kids here that, as we were talking before the game started here tonight, you've got a bunch of young guys now that I don't know that you're going to tell me that you have a real star on this basketball team tonight, but you have a number of young guys that can play basketball, and it's going to be interesting to see how this bunch melds as the year goes on, especially defensively, because really when you take a look at Brandon Fisher coming out of a Kirk Lehman program, you expect them to really highlight the defense, because that has been the characteristic and really the key to the success that Coach Lehman and his Defiance basketball team has had the last few years, making their way all the way to the state finals and winning it actually twice in the last 3 years.
The Bears are going to be led, there's no real standout, but Jaden Valdez was averaging 10.2 points per game. He had 4 assists per game. And then Colt Arthur on the other side playing the other guard spot, 8.4 points per game. And those two were kind of like the guys on the side. They're the ball handlers, the ball controllers. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, Jaden Valdez, if he doesn't have the school record for points in a game, he had a game last year where he had some ridiculous number of points in that game. And I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was a crazy number of points.
I'll dig that out for you, because that's one of the notes that I didn't bring with me here tonight, but I've got it in my briefcase. But again, he did have one big night last year.
And I would say it was like in the 40s.
42, 47, something like that. And we'll dig that out as we go here tonight and get into that. But, they're expecting him to be the floor general this year, the point guard to make things work, stir the soup, and get everything going. And so that will be his charge, and he's got a basketball team around him here this year. It's going to be really fun to see what happens. Zane Cupp, Peyton Lamberson, Evan Smith, and Josh Jones are their starting 5 tonight. The big problem that they're going to run into tonight, Chris, is the problem they're going to run into all year long, and that is a height situation. Yep. Not a lot of tall guys. Cupp is 6'3", Jones is 5'10", Smith is 6 foot even, Lamberson at 6'1", and Valdez at 5'9" tall. So it's not a real big basketball team. Tonight they're going to face a Wayne Trace team that also doesn't have an awful lot of size, but they've got a young guy playing guard that is 6'3" tall. His name is Ethan Linder. If the Linder name sounds correct, his father, Jim, is the head coach here tonight. Jim Linder at 117 and 75 overall for his career. And Ethan, he only scored about 23 on average last year. And last week he went for 27 in his opener. So, if you're going to be able to deal with one person tonight and be able to make this a ball game, that's going to be the guy that you're going to have to deal with right now. Ethan Linder is going to have to try to be able to try to at least contain him. If he goes off for his 23 tonight, it's going to be a long night for the Bears.
And Linder also averaged 6.7 rebounds per game, so he's 6'3". They have him listed as a guard, but 6'3", and he's able to rebound as well. But if you look past Linder's 22.7 points, John Sin has 2.5 points a game, Eli Sin 4.5 points a game, and Brady Stabler 6.2 points per game. So after that 22, 23 points, they have a drop-off. And the interesting thing is which one of those kids is going to be able to step up if they do key on Linder. And, anytime you make the front page of the Crescent News basketball page, you're one of those guys that is a good guy. So.
There's no doubt. Well, you know what? Let's take a quick break, Chris. We're about 10 minutes away from the starting lineups and the tip for this ball game tonight. The ball game being brought to you by Bryan Ford Lincoln, by Northwest State Community College, Andrews O'Neill and Lowe, Bryan Athletic Boosters, the main stops of Northwest Ohio, Overland Turnbull, newcomers Schaefer, Spangler, and Breininger, and Darrow Shirkey Ford.
Going to take this time. I'll be back after this on the Golden Bears Sports Network. Out of high school on the Golden Bears Sports Network, Chris Malenga and Jim Thunderberg. It's Bryan and Wayne Trace, the opening game in the 2016-17 basketball year for the Golden Bears. And Wayne Trace coming in on the season at 1-0. And it's going to be an interesting game tonight here at Bryan, Jim.
Wayne Trace last year, Chris, was 17-8. They were 6-1 in the GMC. They tied with Ayersville for the championship. And then they lost in the district semifinals to Spencerville. They have won 4 straight GMC titles here coming into this season this year. Now, they did lose 4 seniors from last year's basketball team. Luke Miller, who was the second team All-GMC, scored about 12 points a game, had 3 rebounds, a couple of assists. And also Alec Vest, who was an honorable mention GMC player last year, averaged 10 points and 4 rebounds. But they do bring back 4 letter winners this year, Chris. And again, as we talked about, the number 1 guy they're bringing back is Ethan Linder, 6'2". He does play the point for them. So it will be a real interesting lineup tonight if they do play a man-to-man tonight for Bryan, to see how Valderas will be able to match up against Linder here tonight. And I would bet that they're going to probably play a zone, or they'll double-team Linder somehow with a little box and one or a trap or something like that. And we'll watch that as it goes. Linder, as you said, almost 23 points a night, almost 7 rebounds, and he was the player of the year last year in the GMC, and the on the second team, D3 state team last year in the state of Ohio. Also back this year, Brady Stabler, who averaged 6 points a game last year, and Eli Sin, who averaged almost 5 points per game last year. Green Meadows Conference this year, Christopher, Ayersville and Wayne Trace, the 2 favorites as far as the coaches see it here right now. And Ayersville brings back 4 returning starters as well this year. Holgate is the number 3 team, maybe the sleeper team in that conference. And Edgerton might be the real sleeper in the team in that conference, as they bring back 7 seniors for Coach Matt Ripke this year. Three teams, Ayersville, Hicksville, and Tenora, all of them got late starts this year because of football playoffs, as all those three teams made the playoffs and made it through at least the first round of that playoff here this year. So an interesting situation to watch this. In the NWAL, as you look at this on the other side, the coaches like Archbold and Wauseon to win the NWAL. Those are the preseason favorites.
Archbold's won last 4 in a row.
Yeah, well, they've actually, if you look at, they've actually, Archbold has won or tied all the last 7, in fact.
Okay.
How's that? They've won 4 outright and been tied or won in each of the last 7 years. So that makes it a real interesting situation for them. The neat thing about the Blue Streaks, when they come into this thing this year, they have a situation where they're bringing in 4 starters from last year and a total of 7 returning lettermen. The neat thing about that team for Doug Kraus last year, they started 3 sophomores. So 4 of those starters are now juniors, and they played predominant roles in that ball team last year that was 7-1 in the conference and tied with Wauseon. Now the interesting team this year in the NWAL, Chris, is going to be Wauseon. They only bring 2 guys back, but they have the biggest guy in the conference as they bring back 6'9" Alan Rotroff, who is their center, and also 6'2" wing Carter Bazovi. So they have maybe the biggest team in this conference this year, and all the teams in the conference are going to have to somehow try to figure out how to deal with a 6'9" pivot man in Alan Rotroff. Swanton may be the dark horse. They lost most of their starters, but they still have a guy that we remember from the football team, Christopher, Gunnar Oakes.
Yeah.
And when you've got Gunnar Oakes on the floor, you're always in most of the ball games that you're going to play. So it should be a very interesting contest here tonight between these 2 basketball teams. NWAL against GMC this evening.
And I believe I heard that the Wauseon starter, the one you mentioned, there is injured right now.
Oh, okay.
Who did you say it was?
Rotroff,
yeah,
the center?
Hurt. Yeah,
okay.
He's hurt right now, so it'll be interesting to see how they handle things with their best player, arguably their best player there. And I know everybody in Wauseon wants him to get back very, very quickly. So, in looking at the Bryan schedule, they play Wayne Trace tonight, but their schedule does not get easy. And then they play in a tough league. We're talking Colgate, Defiance, Fairview, OG, Lima, Bath before they get into the holiday tournament. So in the month of December, between now and Christmas time, they have, I guess Lima, Bath after Christmas, and they got Colgate, Hicksville, Defiance, Fairview, and OG. And the OG game was supposed to be the first game of the year, but OG was in the football playoffs still, and so they had to move that game a little bit. That was supposed to be last week. And so now, that schedule is not easy, but if you can get through it with no injuries and get through it and kind of gel as a team, that sets you up pretty well for league play.
And that's all you're looking for. Both these teams really won't start their league play until the first of the year, so you do have a little time. Everybody that you talk to, though, Chris, all will say the same thing. What you would really like to see out of this team would have been a chance to play OG last week.
Yep.
While they're still in football mode.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because once they get a month under their belt or 3 weeks under their belt and 3 or 4 basketball games, they probably are going to be a handful to deal with. And unfortunately for us, by the time the 22nd rolls around, it's going to be just exactly that scenario as they will come into town with a team that now is probably knocked off the rust and are very big, very physical, very good size, and they're going to come in here and it's going to be a handful for a team that is really lacking in height this year in the Bears. Now, the one thing that you're going to expect to see out of a Brandon Fisher team is a team that's going to play smart basketball. They expect to play defense. They expect to rebound. They expect to play smart basketball each and every night. And I'll tell you what, if Coach Fisher does not get his way, he probably will not be a happy guy. And we'll just have to see how this ball team will lock up and play this year. Going to be a good opener and a good start for this ball team tonight. And I'll tell you, I think we probably need to take one quick break and get ready for the starting lineups and the national anthem here tonight. We're a couple of minutes away from the starting lineups here on the Golden Bear Sports Network as we step away here on the Golden Bear Sports Network at WQCT.
Back out at Bryan High School here on the Golden Bear Sports Network. Chris Malanga, Jim Funderburg along with you as we have Wayne Trace at Bryan. Let's take a look at that starting lineup. First for the Raiders of Wayne Trace. A 6-foot senior guard, Brady Stabler. Number 4, a 6'2 junior guard. Number 10, Eli Sin. A 6'1 senior forward, Johnson, number 15. A 6'3 senior guard, leading scorer on the team, number 30, Ethan Linder. And a 6'4 junior forward, number 40, Jake Kuhn. Taking a look at the starting lineups for the Bryan Golden Bears. A 5'9 senior point guard, number 1, Jaden Valderez. A 6'3 junior forward, number 3, Zane Cup. A 6'1 junior forward, Peyton Lambertson, number 4. A 6-foot junior guard, number 10, Evan Smith. A 5'10 senior forward, number 20, Josh Jones. And there you have it, the starting lineups for both the Bryan Golden Bears and the Wayne Trace Raiders. Jim, going to be a good night of basketball tonight.
I think so. It should be a fun game, and the Bears have something to really play for tonight as they open up their season, their new gym here against Wayne Trace. The JV game tonight was won by the Raiders, 34-26. For the Bears, Connor Lemons led all scorers for the Golden Bears tonight with 10. In a ball game where when we got here, basically Wayne Trace had a pretty good lead, and the Bears kept fighting their way back and fighting their way back. Eventually fell tonight 34-26 by 8 points there in the JV game tonight. The officials tonight for the ball game, Greg Lawrence, Kim Boyles, and Jeff Simmons this evening. And it should be a real interesting ball game here for these Bears tonight.
So, Jim, what is the key for Bryan in order to win this game?
Well, I'll tell you what. I think they're the new guys on the block. It's going to be really difficult to make a key. They've got to play good defense. They've got to find somehow a way to keep Ethan Linder down in scoring. If Linder goes off like he did last week and scores 27, 28, maybe 30 tonight, you're going to have some troubles, because I don't believe this is going to be a Bears team that's going to score 60 and 70 a night. But if they could do a good job with him, keep him maybe down to 18, 19, 20 points. And then turnovers, I think, are always a big thing for any team. But for the Bears, I think there's going to be a big situation. They can't turn the ball over an awful lot. And also tonight, they're really just going to have to play smart basketball. They're going to need to be able to look for the open guy. They're going to have to maybe take that extra pass. They're going to have to box out inside and get a rebound. They're not as tall as what this team is, because you've got a couple of kids that are 6'4" on the floor here tonight for Wayne Trace. So they're going to have to do a good job of boxing out. And they're going to have to be patient tonight. They really don't want to come out just firing the ball up and get down early. That's the last thing I think to the key to the ball game. You really want to be in the ball game at the end of the first quarter. If you're down 18-6 in the end of the first quarter, probably turn out the lights and let's all go home. Yep. But if you're in a ball game that's 11-10, 13-8, 13-9, something like that at the end of one, I think you've got a situation where things could work extremely well for the Bears, and they'll have an opportunity to be able to pull out their first win here at home in their brand new gym.
What's Coach Linder telling the Raiders?
Well, I think Linder's just telling these guys go out and play exactly the way that we played last week and we played all year long. Things got off to a really good start last week for them, and they're hoping for the same thing here to happen tonight. They're 1-0. They'd like to go 2-0. He's got a pretty senior bunch as he's sending out basically Stabler's a senior, Sin is a junior, his older brother is a senior. And then you've got Linder and Kuhn, he's a junior and a sophomore respectively. So they've got a veteran ball team.
Getting set to tip this one away. It comes down to the Bears. Valderez will go right side on the wing, then top of the key to Smith, left side over to Cup. Cup top of the key. Now back to Valderez. Valderez will drive the lane, lose the basketball, able to get it back, look for Smith on the right wing. Smith will take it over to Cup. Cup will come inside and will travel with the basketball. So that's one turnover for the Golden Bears on their first possession.
But they were very patient. I like what they were trying to do. They were looking for a good shot. Basically, Cup just drug that back foot as he was trying to stop there on the free throw line.
All right, it'll be Eli Sin with the basketball. He'll go right side. Over to Stabler, now back to Sin, now right side, over to Johnson. Cross court over to Eli Sin. Sin will come inside, dish out back, and then a shot is put up, no good. That was Ethan Linder. Rebound comes down to the Raiders, and he traveled with the basketball. Eli Sin grabbed that rebound. and came down with a traveling violation. So 2 possessions, 2 traveling violation turnovers. Ball's inbounded. Valdez gets it. No, actually that went in over to Josh Jones. Jones will give, and he'll turn the basketball over as he was looking for Cup. They'll bring it down quickly on Wayne Trace. That is Jake Kuhn who puts it up and in for the first points of the game.
Gabe Cup having a kind of a tough start here tonight. Both those turnovers for the Bears come from him.
Yep. Wayne Trace playing a full court press, and they'll get it down. This is Peyton Lamberson. Lamberson will give over to Cup. Now they'll give to Valdez. Valdez looks for help over to Evan Smith. Smith will back it up in between the circles over to Valdez. Valdez, top of the key, over to Cup. Cup will drive, put up a shot, contested, rattles, no good. Rebound comes down to Lindor. Lindor will come all the way by himself, put up a shot. It is no good. He tips the rebound around. He'll get his own rebound, and it stays here. And boy, it looked like Lindor tipped that one around, but I guess it was off of the Golden Bears.
So Lindor with a couple of shots so far, Chris, and you're right, that could have very easily gone the opposite way. Interesting, Wayne Trace opened it up in a man-to-man here tonight against the Bears, and the Bears trying to play that exact same way.
So Lindor will have the ball here on the right side. He'll give top of the key to John Sin. Sin will go over to Brady Stabler. Stabler will pass back to Lindor, top of the key. He launches one, no good. And rebound comes down and up and in. That is Eli Sin. No, that wasn't. That was Jake Kuhn. And we've got it knocked out of bounds by Wayne Trace. It'll go to the Golden Bears. So Wayne Trace really defending on that inbound.
I'll tell you what, so far, the good news for the Bears, Ethan Lindor 0 for 3 so far to open up this ball game.
They try to pick it away from Smith, and they do. And Lindor is all by himself down there. They didn't see him. Up with the layup, no good, is Brady Stabler. Bears will lose the basketball, and no, they say it was last touch by Wayne Trace, okay. So Wayne Trace really kind of poking and scraping there to get the ball.
Very tough full court defense and pressure coming out of Wayne Trace tonight. And Stabler looking for the foul. He thought he got hacked as he went up. Bad inbounds pass, going to be the 4th turnover of the evening.
And that's up and good for Ethan Lindor. And Lindor now with his first points of the game, and it's 6-0 with 5:37 remaining first quarter. Bears only have 1 shot on the night. Smith in the backcourt looking for some help. He's double teamed. Over to Lamberson. Lamberson double teamed now. Back to Smith. They're going to have to get it over the timeline. They do. Smith loses the basketball, gets it back. Over to Josh Jones. Jones back to Smith. Now top of the key to Valdez, and they'll reset the offense with their point guard. Valdez will go to the left side. Then to Smith, top of the key. He's looking over for Lamberson. Now he'll drive in. Smith finds Lamberson. Lamberson will put up a shot. It's deflected, and he got hit, and so that's going to be a foul on Brady Stabler. That'll be his first, team first. So that'll put Peyton Lamberson at the line to shoot 2 free throws.
Well, this could be a good situation to get some patience on the Bears so far, trying to find a spot to make a shot.
So Lamberson, first one is no good. Got to make those free throws if you're going to have trouble with running the ball.
If you're not going to be able to get a good jump shot off or get the ball into the rim, and you do get fouled, you are going to have to make a free throw. And this is exactly what we're saying. They're down 6-0. They need to somehow keep close with this bunch here.
Emerson gets the first point of the game, 6-1 with 5:02 remaining first quarter. Thanks for joining us here on the Golden Bears Sports Network. Chris and Jim with you. John Sin has the ball. Top of the key, he'll dish over to Eli Sin. Sin will come to the timeline, then back over to John Sin, who launches a bucket, no good. And on the rebound, there was a foul. Let's see who the call is on.
I think he's going to go against Sin.
It's going to be
15, John Sin.
Okay.
He made the shot. It was a little bit short, hit the rim, and then it came over the top and trying to get that rebound.
Lamberson inbounds to Valdez. Valdez runs into some trouble, gives over to Smith. Smith back to Valdez. Valdez will dribble. They got to get it over that timeline. He does. He comes all the way into the key. Stops, finds underneath. Shot is not even taken by Josh Jones. And then Valdez will drive the lane and be fouled. I'll tell you what, Jones got hammered underneath there and no foul called. So, but they do get Valdez. That foul is going to be on number 4, Brady Stabler. That'll be his second foul.
So 2 on Stabler, 3 as a team already here early in this ball game, but they do have a 6-1 lead. But again, Valderez really needs to hit these free throws to cut this in half.
First one rattles and good. And let's see if Wayne Trace brings anybody in for Stabler. They're going to leave him out there right now. So let's see what happens here with Valderez. Second one is no. Yeah, it is good. It looked like it was falling off the rim. So it was 6-3 now as they run up quickly with Linder. He'll go coast to coast. Ball taken away. And now Linder will play defense, as I think it was Josh Jones that took that one away. And now Linder has a steal of his own, and they're going to get Zane Cupp with a foul for Bryan.
5 turnovers now to 2. Bears with 5 turnovers, and I'll tell you, Linder was not overly happy when that ball got taken away from him, so immediately he reached back in and then stole it right back and got fouled.
It was not a shooting foul, so they'll inbound. Now Linder has it again after passing to Sin. He's on the left wing. He'll dribble, drive in, take a shot, no good. Rebound comes down to Lamberson. Lamberson will try to move down. Josh Jones kind of fell to the ground, and now Jones will set a pick for him. They'll get it over the timeline to Evan Smith. Smith will dribble between the circles and try to set things up. Valderez is on the left side of the key. They'll give it to Cupp. Cupp will try to drive. Valderez in the middle of the key, puts up a shot. No good. Rebound Jones, but stolen away. It kind of got tipped, and they'll credit Eli Sin with that rebound. Stabler with the basketball now over to Linder, and we had a traveling violation by Ethan Linder, and he looked back at the official like, really?
3 turnovers on the night now for the Wayne Trace Raiders here this evening.
Josh Jones sits down. Coming in is Colt Arthur. Arthur with the basketball in the backcourt. He'll give it to Smith. Smith still double teamed. Ball popped out, and that should stay with Bryan.
Eli Sin with some great hands there, Chris, to tap that ball away. Chet Dangler, the recipient of that assist right there, as he had to drop his sign to pick that ball up.
Cupp looks to inbound. They'll give it to Valderez. Valderez, one-on-one. Come inside, pop, and they're going to get him with a travel violation.
Yep.
Shuffled his feet after he stopped. Can't do that.
Took a little hop there and just did a little dance move, and the whistle blew, and the ball went the other way. That's 6 turnovers down on the Bears.
Johnson will inbound to Linder, who will bring the ball up. He crosses the timeline, then he'll find Eli Sin. Sin will give over on the right-hand side to Stabler, playing with 2 fouls. Stabler back over to Sin. John will try to dribble in. Valderez on defense. They'll bring it in. They're going to get let's see if they get a blocking foul on the Bears.
I think that's exactly what it's going to be.
They're going to give a blocking foul to Colt Arthur.
Sin broke down that baseline, and Arthur just couldn't get set. Sin went up for that lay-in, and Arthur basically fouled him in the act of shooting. So Sin will go to the free throw line to have a couple.
No points tonight on the night. First one is no good. Boy, just the difference in how easy it is for Wayne Trace to bring the ball up compared to Bryan.
Well, that's the difference. Again, you got a Bryan team that's basically a younger team, a team that's good, just finding their way, and this is their first night.
Sin puts it in to make it 7-3 with 3:20 remaining first quarter here from Bryan. Evan Smith with the basketball. Over to Valderez. Cross court into Lamberson. Lamberson double team. Back to Valderez. Now back to Smith. Valderez top of the key. Back to Smith right side. Smith will dribble to the left. Give to Cupp. Cupp on the right side. Feed into Valderez. Valderez finds Cupp. Up and good. Nice backdoor action there by Zane Cupp to get behind the defense and able to put it up and in, making it a 7-5 game as we go under 3 minutes here. First quarter.
Cupp's first bucket of the night.
Stabler with the ball. He'll give over to Linder. Linder will try to feed inside and out of the reach of John Sin, and that'll be a turnover for Wayne Trace.
That's 4 of the night now for Wayne Trace. And that ball just thrown a little bit too far out of the reach of John Sin. Sin had a position down on the left block with that ball about a foot in front of him, and he couldn't make that move to get it. If that ball would have gone down to him and he'd been able to make his move, he had an easy layup.
Josiah Lindor comes into the game for Wayne Trace. Underneath, they're trying to get to Arthur, and it's stolen away by Ethan Linder, who will come all the way, spin, put up an off-balance shot, no good. Rebound comes down to Lamberson. I like the way Lamberson's playing on the boards tonight, Jim.
Yeah, he's doing a nice job, and I'll tell you what, so far Ethan Linder, 6 shots. He's 1 for 6 with only 2 points.
Valdez with the basketball, left side, comes inside, puts a shot up, no good. Rebound tipped around, and this is something we see with Bryan teams a lot, is they tip the ball and not go get the rebound hard. And coast to coast the other way is Josh Kuhn for his first bucket of the night, making it 9-5. Wayne Trace still in that full court press defense. Here's Smith on the left-hand side. Now they back off it a little bit. They're not double teaming as much, but they are pressing full court. Smith on the left side, over to Valdez. Now back over to Colt Arthur. Arthur back to Valdez. Valdez will dribble into between the circles. Take a look at the defense. And he's being defended by Josiah Linder, the sophomore. Valdez comes in, puts up a shot. That is good. That's 4 for Valdez, and it's 9-7. Wayne Trace. Minute 20 remaining first quarter.
Well,
Linder.
This is exactly what you hope for, Chris, to keep it tight all the way through that first quarter. Maybe get a little confidence. Shake off some of the opening night jitters.
Underneath, and that was John Sin, who traveled with the basketball. So another turnover for the Raiders. Checking back into the game, Brady Stabler. What do you think about him coming back in with a minute 8 remaining in the first quarter and 2 fouls already?
Well, it kind of tells you that the coach has a little confidence in the young guy. He's going to be able to come in and play and not pick up that third one here with only a minute 8 left to go in that quarter. Turnovers are the name of the ball game right now. 7 for the Bears, 5 right now for Wayne Trace.
Bears have it. Lamberson on the left-hand side, looking for some help, gives to Valdez. Valdez will dribble left side, give out to Arthur. Arthur looks for some help, then gives over to Lamberson. Lamberson, left side, back to Cup, top of the key. Cup will give to Arthur. Arthur, double team, over to Valdez. Valdez will launch a 3. It is no good. Rebound comes down and knocked out of bounds, and they're going to say it was off of Cup. So that'll go back to Wayne Trace. 38.3 to go, 9-7. Wayne Trace leads.
I think if you're Brandon Fisher right now, you've got to be relatively happy with the way your basketball team has played. They've manned up one-on-one pretty much the entire first quarter, and they're doing a pretty good job right in the middle of this ball game.
Linder will bring the ball up. Ethan Linder, their leading scorer. He calls out the play. Looks like Wayne Trace is kind of going to hold the rest of this quarter because he got no urgency right now.
Out around the midcourt line, dribbling the ball between his legs right at this point in time.
So Linder with the basketball, and they'll take about under 10 seconds to make their move, and he's calling it right now. Over to Josiah Linder, back over to Stabler. Stabler puts up an off-balance shot, no good. Rebound comes down. There's a scramble on the floor. Bears come up with it. A long Valdez 3 is no good, and at the end of the first quarter of play, it's the Wayne Trace Raiders 9, the Bryan Golden Bears 7. Back after this on the Golden Bears Sports Network. It is 9. Chris Malenga and Jim Funderburg. Jim, do you have any first quarter stats of notes?
Not really.
Okay, well, give me those turnovers at least.
Give me just the turnovers. The Bears down have turned the ball over 7 times compared to 5 times right now for Wayne Trace, the Raiders. And I was we were working on a couple things there in the break, so I didn't look at the rest of them. Give me just a minute right now, and I'll figure them out for you real quick, okay?
Yep, and Brandon Fisher telling his team he's pretty happy, I think, with where things are at right now, being down 2 here in the first quarter of play. And it's going to be Valdez, Cup, Colt Arthur, Josh Jones, and Peyton Lamberson. So a little bit different look for the Bears. Wayne Trace will get the alternating possession to start the quarter. They'll give it over to Josiah Linder, who puts up a shot, no good. Stabler will come down with the rebound, and the Bears defense just went away, and Brady Stabler able to put it in for 2. And that's his first 2 of the game, as Valdez will bring it back up. He has it. Valdez will come inside, put up a contested shot. It's no good. Rebound comes down to Ethan Linder. Linder will bring it down all by himself. Looks for a person to throw it to. They get it underneath to Jake Kuhn, who puts it up and in.
Kuhn is the real thorn in the side right now. Kuhn with 6 points tonight, and the big fellow really has gotten himself down on that low block and been able to wreak havoc on the backboard. And those are 3 shots that he's taken from within about 3 feet of the rim.
Valdez gives it over to Cole Arthur, who launches a 3. And so it's 13-10 now with 7 minutes to play, second quarter. That was big. Josiah Linder with the basketball. He'll give over to Ethan Linder. Linder will come inside, put up a shot, hit the deck, but no foul. And that makes it 15-10. Linder now with 4 points. Bears get it down very quickly. Valdez loses the basketball. That's another turnover for the Bears. Now Ethan Linder will come the other way. Comes in backwards, hits the deck, no foul. And now there's a foul the other way as Josiah Linder bumps Peyton Lamberson. So that'll be his first. I think that's the team's 4th foul. Bears with the basketball. Valdez goes left side to Smith. Smith over to Lamberson. Lamberson back to Valdez, right wing. Underneath to Jones, back out to Valdez around. And over to Cup, left side. Cup launches a 3 off the top of the backboard. No good. Rebound comes down. Josh Jones has took that away. Oh, like he was playing defensive back. Just totally interception right there. Wow. Smith with it over to Lamberson. Lamberson looks to drive. Hard pass inside to Jones. Now out to Valdez. Valdez dribble drive, shot up and good. 15-12. That's 6 for Valdez. As we go under 6 minutes to play, second quarter. Ethan Linder will bring it up. Go the left side. Dishes back to Stabler. Stabler puts a shot up, no good, off balance. Rebound comes down to Lamberson. They pulled off the full court press here, and they give it to Valdez on the left-hand side. Valdez back to Lamberson. Lamberson will drive. Almost loses the basketball. Rebound, no, tipped back to Smith, who launches one, no good. And now Wayne Trace will get the rebound, and they have a wide open, easy layup for Jake Kuhn, who now has 8 on the night.
Bears didn't get back on defense in time, and Kuhn just all by himself on the other end of the floor. Going to do a better job with that one, but as you said, they pulled off that full court pressure and decided now they're going to go to a 3-2 zone or a 2-3 zone and force the Bears to shoot the ball from the outside.
Yep. So here is Smith at the top of the key. He comes over to Valdez. Now back to Smith. Valdez, he'll dribble drive. Look for some help, back out to Smith. Valdez down low, underneath to Lamberson. He's got to put it up right there, and he dishes back out to Cup. Cup will now try to drive. He'll put off an out-balance shot. No good. Rebound comes down to Jake Kuhn for the Raiders. Now to Linder. Linder will come down with no pressure, and he's going to get a foul on the floor. And let's see who they call that on. I think it's going to be on Lamberson. It's going to be no, it's Valdez. Nope, it's not. Who did they call it on?
Well, wait,
they called that on Evan Smith. So a couple new faces. Josh Kuhn comes in for the Raiders. Over to Linder, pops a 3. Oh, beautiful, wow. He had Smith in his face and still got that one off. It's 20-12 with 4:22 remaining, first half of play. Smith will bring it up. Over to Valdez. Now over to Smith left side. He thought about a long 3 to Valdez, who head fakes. Over to Jones. Nope, that's Arthur. Arthur will launch a 3, and that's up and good. So that is 6 points now for Jones, and there's going to be a timeout on the floor. It's going to be called by Wayne Trace. It's a 30-second. Back after this on the Golden Bear Sports Network. Back out on the Golden Bear Sports Network. 20-15. 4 minutes to play here in the half. Bryan and Wayne Trace, the Raiders leading this one, and that was a 30-second Wayne Trace timeout. And thanks for being with us. If you're on BryanSports.com or BMU Channel 3 on the replay, and of course, our radio podcast partner. Thanks so much for being with us here for this basketball game. Wayne Trace will have the ball after the timeout. They'll bring it up. That is Eli Sin with the basketball. They'll get it underneath to Josh Kuhn, Kuhn throws it off. Nope, he didn't throw it off of a Bryan player. He just went out of bounds and turned it over. So it'll be Bears back.
Got him down with 6 right now, Chris, for the turnovers tonight.
Smith. Oh, Smith. Two for Ethan Linder there on that follow-away jump shot, and the Bears turn it over on the other end. Long pass gets intercepted. Between the circles.
Your voice is cut in every now and then. Back over.
And that'll be stay with the Golden Bears. So Valdez will inbound. Left side for Colt Arthur, no good. Rebound comes up, no good as well for Valdez, and Bears trying to get a third shot at it. Oh, and Valdez got into it there tied up a little bit with Ethan Lindor. They have the basketball, they being Wayne Trace. Shot up and good for Brady Stabler, and that's 6 now for him. As we go 2:02 remaining first half, it's 26-15. So they'll bring it up. Valdez over to Smith. Smith will launch a 3. Got it! That's a big one right there. And on the other end, Jones hits the deck hard. 26-18.
Back here at Golden Bears High School, and the Bears and the Wayne Trace Raiders on opening night here on the Golden Bears Sports Network. Wayne Trace up 26-18 with 16. With I'm watching I forget the game clock goes off during the timeout, and we actually count down the timeout, so we'll have to wait and give you the exact time of where we are here in the second quarter. We're in the second quarter of the basketball game, and the Bears are down by 8 with 1:40 left to play here before halftime. Jim Futterman along with Chris Malenga here. Opening night in Golden Bear Stadium, and the Bears, after the first quarter where they're only down by a couple, have seen this Wayne Trace Raiders team open up this 10-point spread, and the free throws on their way right now for Jake Kuhn. Kuhn has the first one up, no good, and the rebound comes off to Josh Jones, and immediately Bears are trapped in the back court in the corner. Valdez will have the basketball to bring it to the front court. Dribble down the lane, then pass off. And the shot will be taken by Josh Jones, and he will be fouled. So Jones will get the bucket. They'll also get the harm, and they get a chance to cut this lead back down to a more reasonable number as they trail 28-20 after that Josh Jones bucket, the first of the night.
Jones will head to the line with 2 points. And again, Gotta make free throws. Gotta make free throws.
If you're going to play against these guys, because they, again, they lulled you into sleep just a little bit by taking that full court pressure off, and then they throw it on you after a made basket. Jones is standing on the line, so he's not even going to get a chance to shoot this free throw, as the officials call him for a violation as he stepped over that free throw line. Coach Fisher not real happy with the whole situation, but when you look down at his toe, it sure as heck was on that line, so the ball goes over on the turnover.
Minute 21 remaining. Here's Ethan Linder, and he will get be the recipient of a blocking foul from Evan Smith. That'll be Smith's second foul, and that puts the Golden Bears into the bonus, or puts, well, maybe it doesn't. I guess it doesn't. That's the 6th-team foul. They changed that team foul really quickly on the score. Inbound, stolen away by Valdez, and then he passes it right back, and he was trying to get it off of Stabler and didn't happen, and he actually got the foul.
Valdez stole the inbounds pass and was running out of room in the right corner on the home side. When he realized where he was, he tried to throw it off of Stabler's leg. Stabler able to get both hands on the basketball, and then Valdez comes back inbounds and fouls him and sends Stabler to the free throw line for a couple.
That first one is up and good. That makes it 29-20 with a minute 15 remaining here in the first half. Second one is good as well, so the lead is now 10, and they retain that press. Valdez looking for some help. They'll give over to Smith. Smith double team. He'll find Jones over to Lamberson, and they steal it away. That's Brady Stabler with the steal. They'll give it to Lindor, launches a three, and no good. Rebound comes in, and they're going to get a foul. And who are they giving that on? Oh, I hope that foul's on Wayne Trace. I think they did give it to Wayne Trace, number 30, Ethan Linder. I hope that's who they gave it to.
No, I think it's going against the Bears.
Who did they give that to?
Coon will go to the free throw line to shoot the winning bonus.
I tell you what, that was questionable at best.
Foul goes against number 4, Peyton Lamberson there by the Bears.
Wow.
That's his first on the night, but as you said, team foul number 8 now. And that will send Josh Coons to the free throw line for the one and bonus here with just 53 seconds left to go in this first half of basketball.
First one up and good. I don't know how Peyton Lamberson can be called for a blocking foul when he had the ball. That's what I'm trying to figure out. I think that's what Coach Fisher's trying to figure out as well, because Lamberson had stolen that ball away.
Probably got him on the reach in is what they were saying. That ball is, second one is missed.
Rebound comes down to the Bears. Smith will bring it up. He goes fast. Over to Lamberson. Underneath, Lamberson back again. Up and good. So 31-22. Under a minute to play. They'll bring it down quickly, and stolen away by Colt Arthur. Arthur will go up, put up a shot, and that is good. 31-24. And we go under 30 seconds to play. They'll look to just dribble this one out. Eli Sin just walked with the basketball, and neither official saw it. Ethan Linder with it. They'll do the same thing they did last quarter. They'll try to run it out. And what the Bears need to do is not let him score. Linder will throw up a three, no good. Rebound comes down by the Bears, and they're going to say he stepped on the ball, stepped on the lane.
Evan Smith, when he pulled that basketball in, took one step and had his left foot there over the end line. And the ball will go over, and that'll be turnover number 11 unofficially now for the Bears in the first half.
It's a 7-point lead for the Bears. And let's see what they do with it here with 2.6 to play. Jake Kuhn will check in. He's got 10 points. They'll probably want to get it to either him or Lindor. They'll get underneath the Lindor and put up a shot, and before they're going to say he was fouled. Wow, they're going to say that was in the act of shooting.
Well, so you go from a situation where you had the rebound with about 3 seconds to go, and then you foul on the inbounds. The foul will go against Lamberson. That'll be his second. And unfortunately now for the Bears, with a minute and a half or a second and a half to play, you send basically their best player, Ethan Linder, to the free throw line to shoot a couple of free throws. That makes the first one. That'll be 10 now for Linder on the night.
32-24 your score with 1.4 to go. Second one is up and good. Bears inbound to Smith. Smith will launch a three. Way over the backboard, no good. So at the half, your score 33-24. Back with the halftime statistics and more on the Golden Bears Sports Network.
Back here at Bryan High School, and I've got the AD Mook Roofer with me right now. Mook, ball game's been a pretty good one. I'll tell you what, this Wayne Trace team is a good one. I thought we played them really well in that first quarter. Then Wayne Trace with that full court pressure kind of got away from us just a little bit in that second quarter. But all in all, I think the guys are playing pretty well.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty good start. They kind of stretched out there in the second quarter, like you said. They've kind of controlled the Linder kid pretty well. I think he got 11 right now, but saw him score 41 the other night. So I think they've done a decent job. They got to cut the head off the snake a little bit, and hopefully they can get a few more points on the board as well.
I'll tell you what, anybody that has not been to this facility right now are really going to be impressed when they get here. This is probably the nicest gym in Northwest Ohio right now, Mook.
Yeah, we'd like to think so. That's the thing with all the new buildings going up around and stuff. I don't think it's an outward competition, but a lot of people are getting a lot of new things. So you want to kind of stay up with the times, and I think they've done a pretty good job out here.
Well, if you're gonna build it, you better build it right. And it really looks like you guys and the team that was put together to design this high school and make sure we got what we wanted did a wonderful job.
Yeah, I kind of came in late to it. I had very little, to be honest with you. I think Brian Arnold had a lot more input on things and stuff like that, and Rob Rossworm and a lot of those people. And I think they've done a solid job here.
Tell you what, I would have to believe this is going to be a potential site for some tournament play here once we get to that point.
Yeah, actually, we just heard from Northwest District Athletic Board. We're still going to host the boys and girls D4 sectionals, so we're looking forward to that. See how we get little things like we've got an extra locker room and things like that, and how that'll play out, and dividing up the gym, and hopefully it can still be. I know it's always been a good place to come for county teams for those sectionals. It's kind of a neat place. The old building is great with the balcony and stuff. Hopefully we can continue that on and maybe make it a little bit better.
Seating comparison between this one and the old one. Do you have a feel for that?
Yeah, this one seats 1,909. Supposedly, I haven't sat around and counted them. That's what I'm told.
They'd have to be skinny guys, man. And you put a bunch of fat guys in like me, man. You might only get 1,850.
Yeah, that's why we got this crow's nest for guys like you. So. The old gym was around. It was roughly 2,300. There's a sign in there on the north side of the gym, but that was kind of sketchy with those bleachers up in the balcony. It was a little tough to tell how many they could actually see.
I'd have to think, yeah, that was kind of cramming them in at that point in time. And with this gym, with the individual seats and everything, it's a much nicer facility to watch a ball game in.
Yep. The seat backs have been pretty good to us so far. Just getting the word out that they are reserved seats and trying to promote that and get people to buy into those. We've heard a lot of good things about those so far. People like a little more relaxing and things like that. So that's good that we can provide that opportunity for them.
You got a brand new coach in here right now in Coach Fisher. Doug Millman, a great guy, a great coach. He got an opportunity to go to Antwerp, and you guys really got a good young coach to come in here and get this program revitalized.
Yep, we wish Coach Bowen well. Kind of going back to alma mater and stuff. Still a good friend. Wish him well. He's actually getting married over the holidays and stuff, so we wish him well on that. But also, Coach Fisher coming in, very excited about him. Actually, Coach Bassett and I coached him at Eden years and years ago when we were all a lot younger and stuff. And we've always stayed in contact and those types of things. So it was really great. I think we really got a steal from Defiance, kind of stole a few things from them. They kind of brought him up. He coached under a lot of good coaches, not only in basketball, but with Kirk Lehman, but baseball, Tom Held, and even coached with Jerry Beauty for football for a while. So I think we got a good background. He's still young. He's probably going to make a lot of mistakes and stuff, but you're not going to get cheated on effort with him.
Yeah, boy, I'll tell you what, and I don't think you're going to get cheated on effort from his team either, man. They're playing real hard so far.
Yeah, knowing him pretty well, those kids better be ready to play every time they step on the floor. He's going to challenge them. He's going to get after them, and he's also going to pat them on the back when they deserve that too, which I've really liked. I've really enjoyed watching him relate to the kids. I think he does a great job with that. He's still young. He's still energetic and those types of things, and I like how he talks to kids about things other than basketball. That's always an important part.
That's always the most important part, and I think a lot of people lose track of that.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're pretty fortunate with the coaches we have, not just Coach Fisher, but a lot of the ladies and gentlemen that work for us do a real tremendous job on not only just coaching the sport, but relating to them personally. Are we all perfect and things like that? No. But I think for the most part, we've got a good core of people who are here, number one, care about kids, and then hopefully we can teach them something about athletics.
I think that's always a good philosophy, especially on the high school level, because sure, there's always going to be a couple of kids that are going to move on to that next level, but for the vast majority of them, their athletic careers end at their senior season, and at that point in time, you want some real good young people leaving Bryan High School, and we always have that.
Yep, and we've been pretty blessed with that. Obviously, one everybody talks about is the Whistler kid moving on and in playing Major League Baseball. We just had a girl swimmer, Ashley Franks, that signed to BG, and the Whitler kid went to Hillsdale, signed for football. So we've had a few of those, but yeah, you're right. For the majority of the part, this is going to be their career in athletics, and we want them to get it to be a positive experience and get something out of that.
How's the rest of the winter sports going for the Bears this year?
The girls, girls basketball, I believe they're 2-1. I could be wrong on that one. I know they got beat the other night by Wayne Trace. They beat Eden, and I thought they had another one. I can't remember off the top of my head. Bowling's off to a pretty good start, girls and boys. I think the boys are 3-0. The girls are 2-1. Wrestling kind of gets rolling this week. They go to Sonora, and then I know I'm forgetting one. I always forget
That's
one.
okay, man. I'm not picking it up either, so I can't even help you. How's that, huh?
Yeah.
But the wrestling, I was impressed by the numbers that you have out for wrestling this year, too.
Yeah, that's been good. Coach Supel's pretty excited about that. We just had a kid kind of join late, and he's pretty sure we'll be able to fill all the spots. That was kind of a step in the right direction. That was a big step for us because we finished a year with very few kids last year. And it's going to take time. It's a process of building that program, getting the numbers, getting kids interested, and then keeping them out and things like that.
No doubt about that. Well, we're going to step away. Luke Rufer is our guest here at halftime, the AD here at Bryan. Luke, thanks for all the things that you do for us, and we're looking forward to a great season.
All right, really appreciate you coming out and appreciate your coverage.
It's halftime. The Bears trail 33-24 to Wayne Trace. We'll step away from the Golden Bears Sports Network.
Back out on the Golden Bears Sports Network here at Bryan. Halftime score 33-24. Wayne Trace leads this one. And it's Chris Malenga and Jim Funderburg here on the Golden Bears Sports Network. Jim?
A couple of quick stats for you, Chris. Scoring-wise here tonight, Ethan Linder, who got off to a real slow start, leads everybody with 11 here at the half. Jake Kuhn for Wayne Trace with 10. And Brady Stabler with 8. On the Bears side, Jaden Valdez has 6. And then 3 each for Peyton Lamberson and Evan Smith. Bears turnover-wise, I've got them down for 11 turnovers in the first half compared to 7 turnovers for Wayne Trace. Big part of the difference in this ball game so far.
Bears will get the inbound to start the third quarter of play. It's Valdez who will bring it over the timeline. Working against Ethan Linder. They'll put it up and in.
Nice drive by Valdez right down the lane with an easy lay-in.
That's 8 for him now. They'll come the other way with Ethan Lindor. Lindor working against Smith. Boy, Smith has had a tough task at guarding him.
Oh, yeah.
Top of the key for Jake Kuhn. Now over to Lindor. Over to Stabler. Stabler, right side to Elison. Eli will drive the lane. Put up a shot, contested. Rebound comes down, and it's going to stay here as Valdez was the last one to touch it. The next timeout, we'll take a look at some scores from around the area. Inbound. Kuhn with the basketball. He'll come inside, put it up, no good. Valdez will get the rebound. He's immediately triple teamed. Dribbles around, finds Smith in the backcourt. So Wayne Trace continues the press. Valdez brings it up over to Smith. Smith will get it over the timeline. He'll be on the right side. Over to Valdez. Right by the center circle, just to the left of it, working against Ethan Lindor. Linder gets a pick set. Valdez will come around, runs into some trouble, gives to Smith right at the line. Smith will give back to Valdez because if he had moved much more, he'd have been out of bounds. Valdez with it. Cup will come set a pick, then he'll dash back off. Valdez will go left side. Up. No good. Rebound comes down to Ethan Lindor. Lindor will come all the way around. Down. Dish it off the left side to Brady Stabler. Launches a 3, no good. He comes all the way and gets his own rebound. Up, shot is no good. Rebound this time comes down to Zane Cup. Cup will get the ball stolen away and actually rebounds back to him. And now Evan Smith with it. They'll get over the timeline now underneath to Lamberson. Lamberson at the foul line puts up a shot up and good. He stopped at the foul line, then dribbled in and did a nice job there, and it's now a 5-point lead, 33-28.
Bears off to a good quick start here in this third period as they cut that lead down to 5.
Lindor with the basketball. Lindor, tall cross-court pass. Underneath now, knocked away by the Golden Bears, and it'll stay here.
Tried to kick that ball back down into Jake Kuhn, who was on that left block. And the ball gets knocked out of bounds. And the Bears with some good quick hands and good quick foot movement. And I'll tell you what, I don't know what Coach Fisher said to him at the half, but the third quarter, they've come out a lot more aggressively, a little more patient on offense.
Up and in, Eli Sin just took it all the way in. And they pull that press back just a little bit, and Smith will now have the opportunity to take the ball over the timeline. And he's on the right-hand side. Now he'll come between the circles. Now he'll go right. Over to Lamberson, right wing. Lamberson tries to come inside. Out to Valdez. Valdez now will back it up inside the circle. He'll go left. Over to Jones. Jones tries to feed Lamberson, stolen away. Rebound or taken away by Ethan Linder. They'll get it all the way down. Reverse hook shot by Brady Stabler, and that's up and good. Stabler with 10 points now. They got 3 players in double figures now.
You asked about Stabler and his fouls. I think this young guy knows how to play some basketball without committing a foul.
Yep. And I think they took one of them off, or that wasn't because he has only 1 on the scoreboard now. And he had 2, I thought, early on. Underneath, Smith will spin, put up a shot, and is fouled. So he'll head to the line. Gets fired up. Foul is going to be on number, let's see if it was 4 or 40. No, that's going to be on 4, Brady Stabler. That'll be his second. To the line is Smith. That'll be the first team foul of the half for Wayne Trace. The lead is 9 again, 37-28. Smith's first one is no good. Wow.
Smith,
one more coming for Smith.
He's been at the free throw line now 3 times tonight. He's 1 for 3.
Second one goes up and in, so now he's 2 for 4. Bears with a little bit of a 3-court press now. Working against Colt Arthur. Come over on the right-hand side. Eli Sin will spin, put up a shot, no good. Rebound tipped, and it'll come down to Valdez, who has to dribble around traffic. He'll get it down to Lamberson. Lamberson underneath, it gets knocked out of bounds off of Wayne Trace. I'll tell you what, it's good to be Ethan Linder because when he plays defense, he does a lot of reaching in, and he has not once been whistled for it. Valdez with the basketball off the inbound. Now to Smith. Smith gives to Peyton Lamberson. Lamberson will come inside. Throw up an off-balance shot.
Really thought he was fouled right there.
Lindor will go coast to coast, and it falls out. He gets his own rebound and puts it back up and in. Now it's a 10-point ball game. 3:53 remaining, third quarter. Bears trail 39-29 on the Golden Bears Sports Network. Smith with the basketball. He'll try to drive. Falls down to the ground. No foul call. He looks right at the official.
I think he hit a wet spot on the floor, though, at that point in time, and he just went down on his own.
And John Sin comes back up and puts another 2 points on the board at 41-29, so it's now a 12-point ball game. At what point does Brandon Fisher call a timeout here and readdress with these guys?
I don't know exactly that he's going to call a ball game, a timeout maybe or anytime soon. He's kind of letting this thing all play out.
Eli Sin will draw or pick up the foul as Valdez is able to draw it.
Valdez driving towards the rim. As he went up, he got reached and grabbed, and basically will get to go to the free throw line to shoot a couple.
Third quarter, Archbold over Edgerton, 41-24. It's Wapak over Van Wert, 22-8 at the half. Tenor over Continental, 28-16. And that's all we got so far.
First was up and in for Valdez. For Valdez, that's 9 now in the evening, and you have another one coming. Bears had cut it down to 5, and now all of a sudden Wayne Trace on a 6-0 run pushed it back up to 11, and now the 2 free throws brings it back down to 10.
Nice job by Valderez, now with 10 points. Lindor will bring it up. Cross courts it over to Stabler. Stabler launches a three, no good. And Lamberson, oh my goodness. Is that an injury or they call a foul? Wow. They're going to call that foul on Josh Jones. Nope, they're not. Nope, they're not. They're going to call it on Blaine.
Will go against the Wayne Trace. To go against Jake Kuhn.
Jake Kuhn is 30. I thought he said 30, and I couldn't figure that one out.
40, not 30 against Wayne Trace. And Kuhn with 3 now will come to the bench and sit down.
So the Bears will inbound it. Valderez with it. Trying to trap. They get it over the timeline. Nice no-look pass to Lamberson. Lamberson will drive, and he will draw the foul from Josh Kuhn. That was a nice move by Lamberson to get up and draw that foul.
Lamberson got Kuhn in the air. That'll be first number 1 on Kuhn here on the night. And Lamberson, with the clock stopped, will get an opportunity to cut into this 10-point lead that Wayne Trace has built up.
First one is up and good. Six points now for Lamberson tonight. 2:56 remaining, third quarter, 41-32. Wayne Trace with a foul shot from Lamberson coming, and that's good as well. Now 8-point lead. Wayne Trace will bring it up. Here's Lindor. Lindor cross courts it, loses the basketball, able to pick it back up. That's Josiah Lindor he passed to. Now Lindor will shake off a defender, launch a three, no good. Rebound comes right down to Wayne Trace. Stabler, he'll put it up. Shot is blocked by Valderez. What a block. And now they get the ball coming the other way. That was a huge block by Valderez. Valderez only 5'9". Lindor is 6'3", and not able to get a shot to fall there. Lindor brings it down. Then there's a scrum for the basketball, and Lamberson will come up with it, and Lindor is slow getting up. Josh Jones up, and oh, good. It rolls around the back of the rim. Now a 6-point game. Brady Stabler with the basketball, right side. They'll give it to Lindor, top of the key. Lindor will drive, put up a shot, no good. Valderez gets the ball. Lindor again hits the deck. Valderez over to Smith. Smith in the corner to Cole Arthur. Arthur drains one, no good. Valderez with the rebound, and they foul him, and he'll hit the deck, and that's going to be a foul on, is it Josh Kuhn they're going to call that on? Yep, Josh Kuhn. That'll be the 5th team foul. That'll be 2 on Kuhn. It's a 6-point game with 1:49 remaining, and that'll be a full timeout for the coach of Wayne Trace. So we're going to take it with him with 1:49 remaining, third quarter. 41-35 Wayne Trace. Back after this on the Golden Bear Sports Network. Back out at Bryan High School on the Golden Bear Sports Network, 41-35. I want to thank all the sponsors bringing you the game tonight here on the GBSN.
Big thank you to Bryan Ford, Lincoln, Northwest State Community College, Andrews, O'Neill, and Lowe, Bryan Athletic Boosters. The main stops in Northwest Ohio, Darrow Shirkey Ford, newcomer Schaefer, Spangler, and Breininger, and Oberlin Turnbull. And on the main stop scoreboard, the Bears trail 41-35 with 1:49 to go here in the third quarter.
All right, and Bears are now on a 4-0 run at this point. They have the basketball under their own basket with 1:49 remaining, third quarter. Thanks so much for joining us on the Golden Bear Sports Network. Glad to have you along. If you're listening on the radio tonight or the live stream or watching the replay on BMU Channel 3, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. Lamberson with the basketball at the top of the key. He'll dribble back just a little bit, working against Lindor. He'll lose the basketball, and then they'll pick it back up. And kind of a scrum, and Lindor's going to get a foul. That's the first reach call he had.
The Lindor brothers really had him trapped out here at the top of the three-point circle on the visitors' side.
And Dad's out there arguing the call. So Lamberson will inbound. They'll get it over to Arthur. Arthur underneath to Jones. Jones puts it up and good. Josh Jones now with 6 on the night. They move it down quickly. Up and good. Boy, that was a nice transition basket right there for Eli Sin. It's a 6-point lead for Wayne Trace. Here's Lamberson on the right wing. Gives over to Smith. Smith, top of the key, over to Valdez. Valdez looks for some help. Back to Smith. Smith now down to Jones. Back to Smith. Smith will launch a three. Got it! Nothing but cords. It's a three-point ball game, and the Bears making a run here in the third quarter. Underneath Wayne Trace, Brady Stabler puts up a shot, no good. Lamberson gets the rebound. They're swiping at him, and they'll give the ball over to Valdez, and he'll bring it up. Valdez all by himself. He's going to take a shot, up and good. It is a one-point ball game, 43-42, with less than a minute to play here in the third quarter. The crowd is getting loud here at Bryan. Ethan Linder with the basketball.
Valdez with 12 right now, and Wayne Trace kind of fell asleep on that defense. They left the lane wide open.
Oh, yeah.
Valdez able to go down in and almost an uncontested shot.
Well, on this end, they had two guys swiping at the ball, and Evan Smith was able just to get it out and get it to Valdez. 10 seconds now to play. Third quarter, double team. Over to Johnson. Now they'll give it in underneath to Eli Sin, and they're going to draw the foul. Boy, I tell you what, Eli Sin with a LeBron James drive to the thing, and that's going to be a foul on number 4, Lamberson. That'll be 3 on him. So again, at the end of a quarter, they foul, and with no time, they're at the foul line shooting foul shots. Eli Sin with it. First one is up and good. That makes it a 2-point ball game. 44-42. Checking into the game is Zane Cupp for Lamberson.
And Jake Kuhn on the other side for Wayne Trace. Give him a little more size if Bryan does try to make a run the other way.
Sin will have it. 45-42, a 3-point ball game. Smith will launch it up. No good. And they could have got a foul on that as he got swiped as he shot it. But that'll do it with 45-42 at the end of the third quarter. We'll be back after this on the Golden Bears. It's now just a 3-point ball game as the Raiders lead 45-42 at the start of the fourth quarter here on the Golden Bears Sports Network. Chris Malenga, Jim Funderburg along with you. And Jim, the Bears have not given up at all tonight. They've fought and clawed their way back and need to continue to do so here in the fourth quarter.
They've been double digits down a couple of different times here. They've played extremely well in the first and third quarters. Wayne Trace has had their way with them in the second quarter, and now we've got this critical fourth quarter. Bears going to have to play some defense if they want to pull out that very first win on their home floor tonight.
John Sin with the basketball. He'll give over to Jake Kuhn, who will drive, put up a shot, and he will be fouled. I think that might be on Jones. Let's see who they call. Nope, they're going to put that on Colt Arthur. That'll be his second.
Sin with the drive and the shot. He gets fouled, and that will be 2 on Arthur.
Sin now with 6 points on the night. First foul shot is coming. No good.
Well, free throws could be very big as we go down the stretch right now. Both teams want to make as many as they possibly can when they get that opportunity. Obviously, neither team, well, I'll tell you, we got...
that one's up and good. Wayne Trace with 16 fouls.
16 fouls.
So that was totally the opposite. So the second half, they started calling fouls on Wayne Trace. So Smith with the basketball. He needs to get over the timeline. They'll give it back to Arthur. Pressure D. Give it over to Valdez. Valdez will now try to shake it off. Find Cupp. Cupp back out to Arthur. Arthur launches a 3. No good. Rebound comes down, and he got cold cocked. That's going to be a foul on Jake Kuhn, who just kind of put him in a headlock down to the ground.
Kuhn, the biggest guy on the floor, trying to go over top to get that rebound. Basically just kind of got tangled up a little bit. Pulled him back down. Kuhn now with 4 personal fouls.
And that's 1 and 1.
And he'll have to go sit down as they'll bring Josh Kuhn on the floor. You don't lose anything when you bring those two guys in. Basically the identical size. When you bring one brother in, sit the other one down. Both of them about 6'4" tall.
Must be twins because they're both juniors. Up and good for Valdez, the first one. Still a 3-point ball game. Valdez now with 13 points on the night. Next one up and good as well. Here comes Wayne Trace. Lindor with the basketball off to the left side. 3 ball up in the air, no good. That was think Eli Sin, they put that one up. Rebound comes down to the Bears. Valdez with the basketball. They'll give to Arthur on the right wing. Back to Valdez. He'll dribble between the circles, now in the center circle. Back over to Cup. Cup will launch a three. No good. Rebound comes down to Smith. There's a fight on the floor, and it's going to stay with Bryan. Josh Jones.
That ball that Cup threw up there basically just didn't hit any iron, hit the backboard, and I think it caught Smith by surprise. Hit him right in the hands, then hit him on the knees, went out of bounds. Bryan really lucky to kind of keep possession on that one.
Arthur gets the inbound pass back to Smith. Smith will work. Under 7 to play, 2-point lead for Wayne Trace. Bryan with the basketball over to Jones. Jones back to Smith. Smith over to Arthur. Arthur will try to drive, top of the key, and we're going to get a foul underneath. And that's going to be on, I think, Josh Kuhn. Nope, that's going to be on Eli Sin. That'll be 2 on him, and we're shooting. So now the free throws become really, really important when you have 2 team fouls and the other team has 8.
Sin with the reach in away from the ball. That was kind of a tough foul, and I'll tell you, you've got Coach Linder coming out to ask just a little bit about that. But I think a good call, even though it was kind of away from where the action was. A reach and a grab sends the Bears to the free throw line.
Bears are either very confident in Arthur or they're really worried on the defensive end, because on the right side they didn't have a rebounder in. But now they put Evan Smith in there. Smith was out behind the 3-point arc.
I think they're questioning, Wayne Trace questioning whether they got the right free throw shooter on the line right now. Hits 1 of 2, and Wayne Trace with the rebound.
And a turnover quickly, and Valdez will go down quickly. And he gets the ball stolen away, and he goes out of bounds, so it'll stay with the Bears. Wow, lots of fast offensive play right now. So the Bears will have it. Boy, Valdez had Cole Arthur there. He probably should have dished. And Arthur pretty much had a layup at that point. Now they'll inbound to Arthur. Arthur with a spin move. Shot blocked right to Valdez. Valdez will put it up and good. And we have a Bryan 1-point lead, ladies and gentlemen, with 6:28 remaining. Fourth quarter, 47-46. Wayne Trace will bring it up. It is Ethan Linder. Linder has 13 points on the night. He averages 23. Josh Kuhn with the basketball. Back to Linder. Linder will feed inside to John Sin. Sin will work on Arthur. Puts it up and in. And now Wayne Trace takes a 1-point lead.
And I'll tell you what, if I'm Coach Linder, I'm going to do an awful lot of that. Their strength right now is inside. I'd take it down and be pounding it inside as much as I possibly can against the smaller Bears team.
Valdez with the basketball inside the center circle. Steps off the B. Over to Cup. Cup with the basketball. Evan Smith now. Smith looks to drive. Protects the basketball. Puts up a shot. No good. Rebound comes down to Wayne Trace. And the Bears will hustle back. Linder will bring it up. And they look like they were going to double team him, but then they didn't. Now they have a double team on him, and they're going to get a foul. And Evan Smith picks up his 3rd. That'll be the 3rd team foul as well. And Linder got bailed out on that one.
Little bump on Smith as Linder was trying to cut across the lane a little bit. A chest bump cost him a foul. Bears only with 3 team fouls. 5:25 left to go to the ball game, so the Bears in great foul situation here as we end this ball game.
Linder with the basketball, working on Smith. He'll come up and drive, miss the shot. Rebound comes down to Wayne Trace. Linder again, up and no good. That's 2 in a row he's missed. 3rd one up and good. That's John Sin with that shot. So now a 3-point ball game. Bears could have really used the stop right there. Valdez with the basketball as we go under 5 minutes to play here, 4th quarter. Over to Cup. Back out to Arthur. Arthur launches a long 3, no good. Rebound comes down to Cup. Valdez over to Smith. Smith on the left wing, back to Valdez, top of the key. Now to Cup, back to Valdez, and they'll reset the offense. Valdez over to Arthur. Arthur with the basketball. He is a threat to shoot 3s. They'll feed underneath to Jones. Jones puts up a shot, no good. It gets blocked. Rebound comes down. Smith with it again. Under 4.5 to play. Valdez with the basketball, top of the key. Smith, right wing. Now over to Cup. Cup will look to drive, pops a shot, no good. Rebound, long rebound comes down to Josh Kuhn. And now Wayne Trace will head the other way, and they're not in a hurry, as they will let the Bears fall back into their defense, and they lead by 3. It's going to be a timeout a 30-second timeout for Coach Linder. Well, Jim, let's take a look at some other scores from around the area if we can. See if it'll update here. Tenor over Continental 28-16. We had an Archbold score just a second ago and it timed out on me. Here though it's 50-47 and Wayne Trace is in favor. Wayne Trace led by as many as 12 or 13 in the game. Bears have led by 1 here in the fourth quarter.
And Wayne Trace is led by as many as 13 tonight.
Yeah.
They've been in double digits about 4 times already tonight.
And they have 3 scores in double digits. That would be Linder has 13. Brady Stabler has 10, and Jake Kuhn has at least 10. He's out of the game right now. Wayne Trace, Archbold over Edgerton, 54-33 in the fourth quarter of play, and Tenor ended up beating Continental 65-30. Wasn't Continental the team that Wayne Trace played? I think they were.
Good question. The one schedule, the one that you sent over to me, I didn't bring the one list that had their schedule on it.
Wayne Trace with the basketball. Let's see. It's Columbus Grove. Excuse me.
There you go.
Rebound comes back to Wayne Trace. Eli Sin with the basketball. Sin will dribble back towards the circle. They'll set a pick for him. He'll come inside, put up a shot and good. But that was a nice shot because Jake Jones was right there. 52-47, now a 5-point lead. Bears are going to need some offense on every trip. Peyton Lamberson will drive the lane, and he is going to draw a foul.
John Sin with a little bit of a bump as he went around. He tried to set his feet, put both hands in the air, but as he did that, he slid just a little bit and slid into the player and picked up the foul. Seems like that floor might be just a little slick tonight, Chris.
Yeah.
I'm sure, hasn't had an awful lot of use to it so far, so you probably have to kind of rub a little of the new off of it at this point in time.
Lamberson with the first one, no good. Rebound comes down to Wayne Trace. Boy, free throws are really critical at this point. So Lindor will bring it over the timeline. Good battle going on right now between Valdez and Brady Stabler. Eli Sin with it, right side. He looks to drive around his pick. Now they'll give it to Johnson, who will dish back out to Stabler. Stabler working on Valdez. They're going to force him to foul.
I think they're just going to take their time and look for that wide open shot as they get a cutter to the rim.
Yep, there it is, Johnson. That's 9 for Sin, and it's a 7-point lead again for Wayne Trace. Bears need points every possession. Valdez looks to drive, then he'll give back out. Colt Arthur, top of the key, over to Lamberson. Lamberson will drive, working through a pick, over Colt Arthur. Now to Smith. Smith launches a 3. Good, nothing but net. 4-point lead. Smith now with 10, 54-50, 2:26 to play. Linder will bring it down. He'll hand over to Eli Sin. Sin working against Lamberson. He'll go right side. He'll come drive the lane. Back out. Kick out to Stabler. Stabler will try to drive, put up a shot. He's going to get fouled by Josh Jones. That'll be Jones' second foul. That's only the 4th team foul for the Golden Bears. But
shooting foul sent Stabler to the free throw line, though. And for Stabler tonight, he has 10 with an opportunity to add a couple here.
First one rattles, and it's good.
You're supposed to get that kind of rim when you're playing at your house, not at our house.
Absolutely.
That one kind of bounced around, hit about every inch of that rim off the glass and then back in.
Gotta use them, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you do. That's why they put it up there.
Next one is up and good as well. So back to 6-point lead for the Wayne Trace Raiders as we're approaching the 2-minute mark. The clock is not running at this point. There it goes. And we're gonna get a timeout.
There you go. There's your timeout from Coach Fisher.
There you go.
Decides that
2:05
over and chat with him just a little bit.
Yep, 2:05 fourth quarter remaining. We're going to take Bears Sports Network 56-50. Wayne Trace leads this one, and they've led by as many as 13 in this game, and Bryan just keeps trying to cut the lead. They got a 1-point lead at one point, but now back up to 6. Let's take a look at the game reset. Wayne Trace has 2 timeouts left. Bryan has 3 timeouts left. Fouls to give. Bryan has 2 more fouls to give, and that will give him 6. So 3 more to give till they get in the bonus. Wayne Trace at 9 team fouls. The only thing I don't like up here is it's hard to see who has the possession, and it looks like Bryan has the possession arrow.
If you look up there, the neat little thing on this scoreboard now, B has the.
Isn't that for bonus?
I don't think so, because they got another. Well, maybe it is. I was thinking maybe that's where they had that thing up on the scoreboard, but a double bonus is coming, so that you're probably right.
We'll figure that out here in just a minute.
If they give it a 10, there might be a double B, a DB here before it's all over and done with, but it is Bryan basketball.
Smith over to Valderez, who launches a 3, no good. Boy, that was not a good shot. Colt Arthur picks up the rebound, though, and they'll reset with Smith on the right side. Valderez with the basketball, looking to drive. Stops at about the foul line, puts up a shot and good. Makes it 56-52, and the Bears are now in the press situation. They're able to break that press. Brady Stabler. Now they get it over to Ethan Linder. Linder double teamed, looking for some help. And Valderez will foul Brady Stabler. Stabler with 6.2 points per game.
Before that happened, though, Linder calls a timeout.
Oh, okay.
And that'll stop the action here.
Wow, so they didn't get the foul?
No foul.
Wow.
No harm, no foul. The timeout came before the reach. So the ball will remain with Wayne Trace as Coach Linder wanted to talk a few things over. He's got a 4-point lead. He's got it down where he wants to get it. Now they're going to be very patient. You know, they've run a lot of back cuts. And I would think you're probably going to see that same play here. Bears really not had a good answer for that backdoor cut all night long. With the height that this team has, they just have the ability to get in, and once they get to the rim, there's really nobody there to stop them. So we'll see if they draw up a play for an easy bucket right now. An 8-point or 6-point lead here with less than a minute and a half to go would be almost insurmountable for a Bears team that's really had some problems hitting the 3 ball tonight, and also had some difficulties going up and rebounding with a little bit taller Wayne Trace team.
Well, Colt Arthur has got his average. He averaged 8.4 last year. Evan Smith above average. He was only 4 points last year, but he has 10 tonight. Smith did not play. He was a reserve player last year, not a starter.
Has been the story tonight with 19.
Yep.
So Wayne Trace
leads all scorers.
We'll throw it into the backcourt, and Linder will bring it up one-on-one on the right side. Behind his back, up the lane, jump shot, up and good.
Yep. I double team him. Valderez with the basketball. Give over to Smith. They're going to have to do something quick. Minute to play. Lamberson will drive in, put up a shot. It's blocked, and ball comes down to Wayne Trace, and Bears trying to foul, and they'll just get it underneath to Jake Kuhn, and that makes it an 8-point lead, 60-52. Bears try to move down quickly. Here's Valderez. 40 seconds to play. 3 ball by Smith. Good! Smith now with 13. And Coach Fisher will call a timeout with a 5-point lead for Wayne Trace, 60-55. It's going to be a full timeout. We're going to just keep it right here, Jim. And boy, just back and forth. They let them have a way too open bucket down there.
You know, the rebound on the one end, and then the full court pass on the other end, and Jake Kuhn, who had basically leaked out, was just standing on the other end waiting for the lay-in. And again, that was maybe the dagger in the back here for the Bears tonight, as they had that lead cut back down to where it was manageable. And now a 5-point cushion with the basketball for Wayne Trace. And the Bears need a turnover here to really stay in this basketball game as they find themselves down by 5. But I would tell you, scrappy bunch tonight for the Bears. Have played extremely hard.
Yep.
And in a ball game that I think a lot of folks thought might be a little more lopsided than what it has been tonight. The Bears have done a really nice job. Done a nice job with Linder. He had 42 the other night in his opening game against Columbus Grove. And tonight, nowhere near that, but he's playing pretty well. But the things that I've seen out of him tonight, I think the boy really has a lot of talent. He's taken some shots tonight that I'm sure his dad's going to talk to him about on the way home. And he's throwing a couple passes that were a little careless, maybe looking like a team in a game that they thought they were going to win relatively easily. Linder again gets the ball inside, gets into the front court, then he's fouled.
That'll be on Lamberson. It doesn't matter at this point. That'll be 5 fouls for the team, 3 for him.
Linder actually took the inbounds pass, tossed it down the other end to Josiah Linder, his brother, then crossed the timeline, and Josiah gave it back to him, and that's when the reach-in occurred. Since the Bears aren't in the bonus right now, they'll just inbounds it on the sideline with 27.8 seconds left to go in the ball game.
The inbound in the backcourt, Lamberson with it and knocks the ball out, and now there's a scrum for it, and that is a foul.
Ethan Linder picked it back up. Coach Fisher not real happy with the call, the initial call.
He wants an intentional foul.
Coach Linder a little bit disappointed that it wasn't an intentional foul. It'll be a common foul. It'll be inbounds right at midcourt here on the visitor sideline.
And we're going to get a foul on Smith. 20.4 seconds.
Went to Linder right away, and the immediate foul by Smith, I think, was a smart one, Chris.
Yep.
You've got to make things happen with the clock stopped at this point in time in the game.
So this is the 7th team foul. So that means Wayne Trace will head to the line with our best player on the line. First one is good. That makes 16 points for Linder. (61-55), 20 seconds to play.
This will make it a 3-possession game right now, and it's exactly what it did.
Yep. 7-point lead. Bears will bring it up quickly. 3-ball by Smith is no good. Rebound comes down to Valderez. Knocked around, Cup puts it up. 3-ball, no good. Rebound comes down to Valderez again. He puts another one up. How he wasn't fouled, I don't know. And that's going to probably do it as they foul Lindor again. Boy, Valderez had 3 guys from Wayne Trace all over him as he tried to shoot that ball.
So they'll walk to the other end of the floor with 2.1 seconds left to go, and Linder has an opportunity now to take this up to a 19-point game for him.
Some Defiance kids here to see their former coach.
Yeah.
And probably also scout a little bit. First one is up and good. So that's 63-55. Well, the scoreboard is going to look a little lopsided, but that definitely is not the way this game was.
Second half was a very close basketball game. The Bears fought extremely hard, but they're just going to run out of time and room here as Linder knocks them both down. He's got 19 now in the night.
So a 9-point ball game. 3-ball at the end is no good, and that's going to do it. Your final score is 64-55. Wayne Trace wins this basketball game. We're going to take a timeout, come back with more from Bryan here on the Golden Bear Sports Network. Back out at Bryan High School, 55 final score as the Golden Bears fall to Wayne Trace, and I don't think anybody thought this game was going to be close, and the Bears actually had a 1-point lead at one point. And, boy, just a tough one for the Golden Bears.
Yeah, with about 4 minutes left to go to the ball game, the Bears with a 1-point lead, but they lost it almost immediately on the next possession. Yeah, I think all in all, the Bears did a pretty nice job tonight playing against the Wayne Trace team that is expecting some good things. I think Wayne Trace came in, and at times they played extremely hard and played extremely well. At times they were a little bit lackadaisical. Once they got up 12 and 13, they had some sloppy turnovers. First half, really, the Bears were the ones that were turning the ball over. The second half, Wayne Trace did a kind of a tough job with their turnovers in that second half. And then they also got into a lot of foul troubles, which gave the Bears an opportunity to go to the free throw line and score a couple of points with the clock stopped.
Yep.
So Bears with a nice run at the end, but when it got down to the last minute and a half or so, Wayne Trace did a nice job of being able to control the ball game, make the shots that they needed to make, hit the free throws when they needed to make those down the stretch, and eventually stretch that game back out to a 9-point basketball game. All in all, though, I think the Bears, for their opening night, for the very first game, I think Coach Fisher's got to be relatively happy with the way they came out and played a very tough Wayne Trace basketball team. Scoring tonight for these two ball teams, Ethan Linder and Jaden Valderez, the leading scorers here, they both had 19 tonight. And I think if you look at that, Chris, I would think that Coach would be pretty happy, Coach Fisher, with the way that they did play against Ethan Linder tonight. Obviously, last week against Columbus Grove with the 42, you don't expect him to go for 42 every night, but no. He is a 20-something player pretty much any night, and to keep him out of that 23-25 range, that was one of the keys that we talked about at the beginning of the ball game. Did a pretty nice job to be able to do that. For Wayne Trace tonight, Brady Stabler had 12. Eli Sin with 9. Johnson with 9. Josh Kuhn with 3. For the Bears this evening, as we said, Valdez with 19. Evan Smith with 13. Cole Arthur with 8. Josh Jones with 6. And Peyton Lamberson with 7 tonight. Bears really did a nice job adjusting in the second half, being able to come up with some rebounds, cut some turnovers down. That first half they had 11 turnovers. They cut that down by a couple here in the second half. And Wayne Trace again with a couple of turnovers, some of them forced, some of them not forced in that second half, and way too many fouls, which kind of helped keep the Bears in the ball game. But all in all, I would think that Coach Fisher, after his first night, his opening night here in the gym, would have to be relatively happy with the way his guys played. That first one is always a tough one to be able to get through, and the main stop scoreboard shows it 64-55 as a final here tonight from Golden Bears. What are they calling this? Golden Bears
I don't
Arena?
know. The
Golden
Bear
Bears,
Cave. I don't know.
Bear Cave?
I don't know. We'll have to come up with something.
I don't know exactly whether they've come up with a name or not for this, but we'll have to see if they name it, or maybe they'll sell the naming rights to Chris Malinga for $500,000 or something like that, and it could be the Chris Malinga, stadium or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out as we go. If you have any cash on you, maybe go down and talk.
I do not.
Mook's right there. We can go down and maybe make this deal right now, Chris. How's that?
The Bears play home on Saturday night against Holgate, and then they travel to Hicksville on Tuesday, and then the following Saturday they're back home against Defiance. Wayne Trace moves to 2-0 on the season. They will play home against Paulding on Saturday night. Then the following Friday they travel to Liberty Center and then home against Lincoln View on Saturday the 17th. So Bears are 0-1 now on the young season, and I just think they did a nice job tonight. First time under the new coach, and they played hard and never quit, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, I think so too, and I think the Bears will have a pretty decent year ahead of them. Again, the thing that's going to hurt them on Friday nights at times is going to be the lack of size.
Yep.
It got them in trouble tonight. There were several times when Wayne Trace came down, basically set everything up, slowed everything down, ran a pick, ran a backdoor cut, and were able to get an easy lay-in with their 6'4" players down at the rim, and we really didn't have an answer for that one. Anybody watching the film on this one tonight is going to be able to see that, and it's going to have to be something that Coach Fisher and his guys will work on. You really can't change size. That's the one problem that you really cannot fix. You can fix turnovers, you can fix shooting percentages, you can fix attitude, you can fix all kinds of things. But when it comes down to just being tall enough to be able to make a play at the rim at times, you can't do anything about that. No way of stretching a kid out past what Mother Nature is going to give him to use. So that's kind of the way it's going to be. And the Bears, I think, are going to have to find a creative way to box out a little bit better, watch those backdoor cuts just a little bit more, and I'm sure they'll figure that out as the time goes on. Good news when you look around the conference, when you look at the NWAL, outside of Wasion, really there is no height in this conference again this year. You're not going to go against a team that's going to put 3 guys in there on a night that are 6'6", 6'7", 6'8".
Yep.
Most teams in the NWAL this year are relatively about the same height as the Bears. So it should be a very competitive conference once we get into the new year and they do get into conference play.
Want to thank our sponsors one final time, Jim?
Yeah, big thank you tonight to Bryan Ford Lincoln, Northwest State Community College, Andrews O'Neill and Lowe, Bryan Athletic Boosters, the main stops of Northwest Ohio, Darrow Shirkey Ford, newcomer Schaefer, Spangler and Brininger, and Oberlin Turnbull tonight. It was an interesting ball game, and we thank them. They'll be bringing us some ball games all year long right here on the Golden Bear Sports Network.
I thank you for listening on WQCT Bryan, also on bryansports.com and BMU Channel 3. For Jim Funderburg and our entire crew, Shar, Danny, and Aaron, I am Chris Malanga. Thank you for joining us again. One time your final score, Wayne Trace 64, Bryan 55. Thanks for joining us on the Golden Bears Sports Network. Have a good night, everybody.